Hello, everyone. This is the Easy Allies podcast. I'm your moderator, Kyle Bossman, and joining us this week, Daniel Bloodworth.
Yo, what's up?
Michael Huber.
Naruto Uzumaki.
And Brandon Jones.
Howdy, everybody.
Howdy, Brandon Jones. I can't stop thinking about that cookie you just fed me.
Yeehaw.
Birthday
That
cake
Oreo cookie.
Ah.
Yeah. Wow, that really made an impact.
You just slipped me one before we start the podcast, and I'm distracted. It tasted like a birthday cake.
It did. It's amazing how they do that.
It ain't right.
The jelly beans and the Oreos are out of control.
Blood, why don't you do us the honors of tossing this die onto the coffee table?
Okay.
Gently. Jones, you're number one. I'm
Gently.
number 4.
Well,
Oh, boy.
gentle, but it wasn't gentle enough.
Blood doesn't know his own strength. That's number 1, Brandon Jones. You've won this week's Prove It ticket.
All right.
All right. So, of course, if you hear any hootenanny nonsense, you may use the Prove It ticket to make that person prove it. Let's do corrections. Begin corrections music, please. Team Fortress 2 is the best example of a successful game that became more successful once it went free to play.
Absolutely.
Just didn't come to mind. It's
There you
good. I should make this very clear. When I say Cowan Coward is one of my favorites, that does not mean I support his beliefs or recommend his show. It simply means I cannot stop listening to his show. There was no Burnout 4. I fell for a confident comment.
Oh, nice. Yeah, okay.
David Tran, you are banned from corrections for 1 week.
Burnout 3, Burnout Paradise.
No.
Burnout 3 Takedown.
Burnout
Revenge?
3 Takedown, but yeah, Burnout Revenge was the one.
Revenge.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think I ever played Revenge because it was like a 360 launch title,
I
right?
played it.
Whoa.
And I didn't jump in on the 360 right away.
Never
so.
played it. Let's do it. Let's hop in.
Let's hop into Burnout Paradise.
Burnout.
Man.
Yeah.
Burnout Paradise
God.
went so well, except for crash stuff.
One of my favorite corrections this week. By the way, the guy who gave you the idea about PS Plus versus Games with Gold on the podcast was me, which is at Three-Eyed Owl, Daniel Montiero. There you have it.
Oh,
You didn't know who it
didn't
was?
credit?
I forgot who gave me that
okay.
idea, and that person wrote in. That was me.
It was me.
So that's at Three-Eyed
Nice.
Owl. Go ahead, tweet at Three-Eyed Owl. Say, great idea for a segment.
Let your voice be heard.
Star Wars Galaxy had happy dancers. End corrections music, please.
Okay.
The dancing class, yeah.
So I thought, Huber, that there'd be classes that weren't really fully developed where they said, oh, you could be a bartender, you could be a
Yeah.
dancer, and you'll love it. And I was like, no, everyone wants to be a Jedi.
Oh my god, no. Everyone loved the entertainer class.
Cool.
You'd be chilling in Tatooine at a bar, and people would just be dancing away. It was like the social class.
That's so weird.
And the cool thing is that Jedi was not at lunch.
Right.
I mean,
I-
it was.
Nobody-
was.
they didn't know how to get it.
Nobody knew
Yeah.
how to do it.
Love that.
Those messages started popping up for people. You are now Force sensitive, and people were
Ooh.
still like, "What?" Yeah.
Cool.
Then people just started slowly pulling it back. It was like master every class because you could only be a few classes. Then you would have to drop it. So you'd raise the class to the max and then just delete it
Fire Emblem.
and do another one.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And that's how you became a Jedi?
Yeah, I never.
There were
got it.
3. Yeah, when you created a character, there were 3 classes that if you mastered those 3 classes, you would become a Jedi, but you had no idea what those would be.
Cool.
So you just had to start going through the
They
classes.
were randomized, the
Yep.
3 classes?
Yep.
That ain't
Wow.
And then,
right.
And then later they added that they would clue you into what 2 of them were, but not the 3rd one.
That's not okay.
It's so
Someone
everyone
did
would be Jedi.
Someone did it.
Everybody would have been Jedi.
Yeah. But
It was a way better setup than when there were just Jedi everywhere, and
Yeah,
you walk
yeah.
into the cantina and
I have a
40
lightsaber.
Jedi.
I have
Like,
a
Yeah.
lightsaber. I have a lightsaber. I have a lightsaber. I have a lightsaber. Yeah. Ooh, one more thing. This is the strangest thing I've ever seen in the history of this podcast. So last week I brought up how nobody came to defend the honor of the Princess Bride as opposed to Shrek.
right.
And then I kind of thought that more people, at least one person, would pipe up and say, I like Princess Bride more than Shrek.
Right.
Still no one. I'm inundated with tweets about how Shrek is better than Princess Bride.
My gosh,
Most of the comments section is obviously Shrek is better than Princess Bride. I haven't seen one. This is so weird.
Look at the wrong feeds, I guess.
I thought at least one person would like that movie more.
I don't know whether to correct you now or not.
It's crazy to me.
can't- you gotta wait- you gotta
I
wait
have
another
not
week.
even got a chance
Yeah,
to
wait, we
watch
can't-
through all those podcasts, but I already know all
We
about
can't
this
make the corrections,
and what
Bud.
reality actually is.
It's crazy. It is a crazy reality we live in. Do you all remember my favorite way to start a podcast?
Game announcement.
Game announcements.
We have a game announcement.
Do we?
from New York Comic-Con, baby. It's called Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Mighty Battle. Did I get that right? Mega Battle. It's a Mega Battle.
You can't do the Mighty twice.
You could. I would like it. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers with the apostrophe : Mega Battle. Now, this is a PS4, Xbox One, conflicting reports of it being on PC. Not sure. It wasn't in the trailer. It didn't say PC. Some people are reporting it's on PC. Some aren't.
Might have a press release.
I checked it. The press release has no mention of platforms, Blood.
Really?
Yeah, really weird.
That's so weird.
January 2017 is when this is looking to come out. It is a 2D co-op brawler, very cartoonish.
My wheelhouse.
Yeah, I mean, it's completely like 2D art.
I'm nervous about this game, Kyle. Want to know why?
Why?
Because the last 8 to 12 months, I've been burned on beat 'em ups. There've been a couple released, most notably the Viking one.
Viking Squad?
Vikings. Is it called Viking Squad? Do you remember that one?
Oh, Zombie Vikings.
Zombie Vikings was one.
Oh, okay. Because Viking Squad is apparently great.
Yeah. Viking Squad is good. Zombie Vikings was not good.
What else burned you, dude? Did you play that weird Russian one?
No, Mother Russia Bleeds is solid.
Oh, then what are you talking about? You've been burned on.
I need to think.
Okay, because I don't see the evidence stacking up here. I'd toss that
I need
prove it
to
tick
prove
on
it.
you right now.
Hold on.
Uh-oh.
No, it's coming.
Uh-oh. Jones
Just
has his
move on.
fingertips
Come back to me.
on the prove it ticket.
There is one.
So the press release I have at least says PS4 and Xbox One for Power Rangers.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? No mention of PC.
I mean, that's not that unusual for Bandai Namco, but...
Oh, okay. Well, they had that weird weird MOBA. Jones, how would you describe this game to somebody who, like many, did not hear the announcement last week that this is a thing that's coming out next year?
Very cartoonish, extremely 2D, not a lot of depth, very flat looking.
Yeah.
Just looks very basic. Like I think I can tell if a game's gonna be good or bad by what they're actually highlighting as far as what's happening on screen. Like especially with like a 2D game where it's just left or right or up or down. And like they would cut to all 4 Power Rangers and I'd be like, none of them are doing anything. Like they're all just kind of like kicking and jumping,
slashing.
Right.
Whoa.
But it wasn't like a cool highlight of like, dude, check out the Black Ranger's crazy power. It was like, no, it's just kind of like a little boss came in at the end. Here's a new environment. It seemed very like you could just pull 10 seconds out of that clip and doesn't really matter what you grab.
My mind tricked myself.
Okay.
I was thinking of Turtles, not a 2D brawler,
right?
But another like brawling beat 'em up game.
Sure.
That was just a big like
Platinum's Turtle game.
Transformers too.
Transformers was okay.
Better than Turtles?
Way better than Turtles.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, it was an okay game.
I'm troubled, panel, because I came in pretty excited about this game. This game reminded me of Turtles in the arcade. It reminded me of a Konami beat 'em up in its 2D-ness. It reminded me of Scott Pilgrim Saves the World.
Oh my god.
The
best.
Sure.
Because you have upgradable abilities in this game as well. Castle crashers. And here you are talking like it's nothing. Bloodworth, is this a negative announcement?
I don't know that it's negative. For me, it felt pretty flat. The only thing that to me, I was surprised that they were actually going all the way back to the original Power Rangers.
Good to bring up. They have diamonds on their uniform.
Yeah. Like I think that was the original Rita Repulsa voice, or at least the sound-alike of it. So, so that was kind of a surprise for me because there've been so many iterations of Power Rangers over the years. It's like, oh, they went with that one, the one that the majority of people are going to remember from when they first launched in the States. But otherwise, I don't know. I didn't see anything that really like stood out to me, being different than just like kind of a cut and paste kind of brawler.
Cut and paste brawler? What other brawlers are there out there? It's not like it's a genre. There's just too many. Oh my goodness, I'm hurt.
To me, the hit detection looked bad. I know that's a weird thing to say.
That's not a weird thing to say.
Like you said, flat. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Flat. Mm-hmm. The impact.
I hear you.
Looks flat. Mm-hmm. And that was kind of the problem with Zombie Viking.
Sure.
Is when you hit them, you don't feel it.
You have to feel it.
Yeah, every punch has to be felt in a beat 'em up. And I think flat is the best word to describe that trailer.
Played a lot of Battletoads on NES last week. That is some good punching.
Yeah.
Every single punch is like,
Yes.
and they move backward a little bit for each little punch.
But I think that's the thing. It's that you feel the impact, right? Like
yes.
Final Fight or Streets of
Final
Rage.
Fight, Streets of
like,
Rage.
when you hit somebody, there's a little bit of a
Mother Russia bleeds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as long as it nails down the before January 2017, maybe it'll get us. But for now, the panel does not seem excited for this Power Rangers game.
I've been wanting to stream The Punisher for so long.
The Punisher.
I just need to buy it.
Is that a Super Nintendo game? Genesis, probably.
Genesis.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Punisher.
Great beat 'em up. Violent.
Not one of my favorite Marvel heroes.
Punisher and Nick Cage co-op. Or Nick Fury.
Nick Cage.
What is Nick Cage? Oh,
That'd
Nicolas
be amazing.
Cage.
Yeah,
That would be
Oh
amazing.
my god.
That'd be an okay game.
It might still be in there. We got a game sleuth that we don't know.
Okay, so we don't have to talk about that game too much. Let's move forward. Let's talk about a really strange concept. This is something we touched upon on the most recent episode of Frame Trap, and it was something that I kind of wanted to talk about anyway on this podcast. It's not really a headline. I didn't pull it from Game Informer or Kotaku or anything, but it's something is a trend and something worth discussing, I think. This is playing a game before it launches. Any rich people can play games before they launch.
Yeah.
And so I want to talk about this trend. I got 3 examples. More recently, this is the clearest example. Well, not the clearest. It's a recent example. Some of these are real gross. But Gears of War 4 and Forza Horizon 3 each had something called an Ultimate Edition. $100. If you buy this, you can play the games 4 days before the regulars have to or get to play the games. And I want to talk about whether that's a good thing or a bad thing.
For specific games, it's really bad. Battlefield 1, especially,
Yeah.
very bad. Because it's almost like pay to win in a sense, very loose, because you're giving those players an edge when the game launches on day one. They get the game early, they level up, they get skills, they learn the maps.
No, how long does that last, though? How long does that edge last?
Long enough. I mean, a couple days.
Yeah.
Days, you're just killing people.
It actually works opposite in Forza Horizon.
Why?
Because so there are the clubs and the club leaderboards, and so on the club leaderboards reset weekly. So when you're first starting the game, they're based on XP. So when you're first starting the game, it's like, okay, you're unlocking new regions, you're doing all these events, and you're gaining a ton of XP. But after those first 3 days, leaderboard resets. When everyone else jumps in, now you've lost the opportunity to compete in that second week because now they're doing all of the first round of events, and so there's less.
So you're ahead of it, and it kind of restricts you.
Yeah.
Because you're ahead of where everyone's competing.
Yeah.
That's
so
funny.
so it's kind of funny. It's because I ran into that because I was doing the review of Forza Horizon 3 and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
everyone's here, and oh, now I have to struggle to do events, to do things to gain enough XP.
Huber, I want to go back to one thing you said, though, is that Battlefield is a big deal. Gears of War has very competitive multiplayer.
That too. I feel like you're at an advantage, and sure, it doesn't last that long, but if you put a ton of time into that early access, if you're playing 24/7 and unlocking more powerful weapons, which there are, you're gonna be stomping people for the first couple days, and I think that's,
So Jones, I'll
definitely a factor.
pose this to you. I think this is cool.
Okay.
I'm totally cool with Wales spending $100 on the game that I get 4 days later because they're paying for the development of these games. The developers are getting that money up front, just bonus cash for nothing for putting out the games 4 days early. So I want to know if you can see it that way. You can say, yeah, I mean, this is a good way
Sure.
to help with the rising cost of video games.
I think the positive and negatives kind of even out for me. Yeah, it's not something I'm thrilled for. I definitely am sympathetic for people that are, in Huber's case, behind in a multiplayer sense because I'm not leveled up, I'm not experienced enough. It sucks to jump in. First day you bought Gears and the guy, I remember the first multiplayer match I did in Gears, the guy was gold, just head to toe solid gold. I'm like, oh.
Wait, with Gears 4?
Gears 4, yeah.
But that's
First
what I
match
understand.
I did, just
What about matchmaking, though? Why would you be matched up with somebody who's already been playing the game and has unlocked all those weapons?
But he might have got you got a bunch of, they have the cards which give you bounties and different skins and different characters you can play as in multiplayer and stuff. And I think he might have just gotten lucky. And
okay.
When you do the $100 instead of the $60, they give you a bunch of cards packs. packs. So I actually I spent like 45 minutes just opening pack after pack after pack.
Did it feel good?
Before I played? Not really.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because they had, well, that's like one thing that's...
Well, that is actually a kind of a funny thing.
Totally,
Too,
totally different topic, but it's like
Yeah.
enough with the animations of just just like every time. Come on.
With the,
I just want to open. Let me open all of them right now. Just show me everything I got. You know?
yeah, because the same
You can
problem.
like level them up.
Same problem with Forza Horizon 3. The Ultimate Edition
Yeah.
has all these car packs. But the thing is like you have to go through this process with every single car. So it's like, oh, I've got 20 cars, cool. They're not just in my garage. I have to go to the menu. I have to go to this car. I have to like, okay, give me this car. It's like, okay, do you want this design on it? No, I don't care. Just give me the car. And then you just go through that 20 different times just to get all the cars in your garage. And then, like, you can start trying them.
I mean, I think the goal there might be to get you in the habit of buying cars and buying packs.
Sure.
You know, they
Well,
want
no,
you
I mean,
to-
it comes
yeah.
with, like, the car pass, which, I mean,
Yeah.
eventually there will be packs that aren't included in the car pass.
Yeah.
But, like, I think every
Overwatch,
week
they
you're getting another 10
explode.
cars.
Yeah, fly up in the air. And
Oh,
land.
Overwatch, yeah. You feel so special every single time, and then you get garbage out of them.
Kind of like what you said about helping the developers. Like that's a great thing, and it just makes me realize like not everything is so black and white. It's like it's this gray area where like that is really cool, but at the same time, you know, die-hard Gears and Battlefield fans that maybe can't afford that $100 edition, it's kind of alienating to them.
It's absolutely
so
alienating
there's
to them.
so many variables that
I want to talk about some other options then.
it's sticky.
So let's talk about Battlefield 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just so confusing.
Yeah.
No, remember, we were talking about Gears on Frame Trap, and I was like, when does the game come out? I had no idea because of all these early access things.
And this was even worse. With Battlefield 1, we were having such a hard time figuring out when this game comes out.
Yeah.
Because if you have EA access or you have Origin access, this game comes out on...
Why are those called different things?
Yeah.
Good question, first off. I don't know.
It's the same service.
Well, yeah, there's some differences between which games you get in Origin. It's very weird, Blood.
Yeah.
They're both $5 a month. EA access you can get for $30 a year. There seems to be no yearly fee that you could do if you wanted to for Origin access.
But wait, you just said $5 a year.
$5 a month.
Okay.
$30 a year if you're doing EA access. You have the option to do that. Thank you for correcting me live, Blood. So October 18th, I believe, is the release date if you have either of those services.
No, October 13th
13th.
is the EA access.
Yes.
EA access.
Yes. So that's 8 days early.
Yeah, the play first trial.
The play first trial, and you get 10 hours of the game.
Over
Yeah.
8 days.
Yep. You don't have to buy the game to do that. You just have to have one of those two accesses. Accessees.
And you also don't get everything.
The real game
You
comes
get-
out on the 21st.
yes.
So the 13th, this is a full 8 days.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, you don't get the whole game? What are you talking about, Blood?
It's only certain parts of the game that are open
Yeah,
to you.
limited maps and campaign stuff.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because you can't give out Battlefield 1 for free.
Yeah.
So Battlefield 1 does have an Ultimate Edition parallel, though, right?
Yes.
And what was that
the
called?
Early Enlister edition.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's not $100. That was 80.
Yeah.
So that's instead of spending $60 US, you're spending $80 US, and you get, I think, 3 days early. Correct?
I think it's 4 days as well.
Wow.
Or no, maybe it is 3 days. It's the 18th.
3
Yeah,
days.
18th
Yeah.
to 21st. Yeah.
So you get 3 days early for that. Same thing. Hey, buy the game early. So give us 20 extra bucks, and that's just money on top.
Yeah.
You know, then when the margins are so slim, something like that costs them $0 to do, and so that's just extra money. I think a lot of people say that, oh, it's extra money to EA.
Yeah.
It looks greedy. Is it? Is that greedy?
Maybe. I mean, it's like everyone had their like pre-orders, you know? Remember when couldn't you used to pre-order a game and you'd get early access just for pre-ordering it? Are there any cases
Sometimes
of
beta.
those?
You would get beta access for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
beta access. I wonder if like
I can't think of any offhand that were just straight up early, play the game early.
I mean,
by
this is
pre-ordering.
this is like taking that one step further,
Yeah.
you know, in terms of corporate suits. Pay $80 and get it early, not pre-order. Like you can pre-order this game a year in advance,
It's
but
interesting-
unless you're paying a premium, you're not getting it early.
Yeah.
It's interesting to me to think about it like in comparison to other industries. Like I can't remember. There's not been a movie that like you would pay more to go see early, right?
Right.
Like
No.
there are early showings maybe,
Yeah.
but you wouldn't pay more to see them. But like concert tickets always have like these crazy tiers. You know, like I went to a show on Sunday, and you know when I went to buy the tickets, it was like, you know, buy the tickets that are twice as much to like go do the meet and greet and stuff like that. And it's like, well, I know these guys. I'm not going to do the meet and greet.
Good call.
But like, I'm going to hang around for 10 minutes after the show and see when he comes out. But
Bloodworth
gets
theme parks, baby.
free meet and greets. What's up?
This is the month for theme park. Must be nice.
Why?
Right when I do Not Scary Farm or the
You buy
up at
early.
Universal Studios. Well, not early, but if you basically double down on your ticket price, you go past every line.
oh
just get,
yeah,
like, the
theme
fast
parks do that
thing.
for sure.
VIP.
Because real life
Which is like
pay to win,
the
right?
only way I
Yeah.
will ever do that. It's that or not. I will not go because it's like 2.5 hours wait for every maze.
That's what
For
normal
like a-
people do, man. That's
Yeah.
normal people life.
Yeah,
Never.
that's my life, Jones.
Nope. Sorry.
I go early.
I'm not tuning out. No.
My ritual.
Gotta bring a friend.
My ritual at Universal is like, yo, because the 3-hour lines, like, get there at open,
Yeah.
do the number one maze, because then
Yeah.
you get on that within like 20-30 minutes. Mm-hmm. So at least you get that one under your belt.
Right.
But then
then
you got a
you-
lot of lines ahead of
Then
you.
you slum it.
I have one more example before we wrap up the conversation.
Yeah. Wait, quickly though, would you like
Yeah.
it more if they did it like Bloodworth concert style, where, yo, we're selling Battlefield in March. If you buy it before June or July, you get early access. If you buy it in full price. If they did something like that. Like, the earlier
Isn't that-
you buy
Oh,
the game...
no.
Pre-order? That's
No,
a pre-order.
but that you're
but you
putting
pay
all the
in
money back
full.
down.
Would
You're
that be
paying in
more
full.
sketch?
Yeah, don't do that. Never. Finally, Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered.
Oh right.
You can play that campaign 30 days early on PlayStation. If you buy the $80 or $120 version of Call of Duty this year, which includes Modern Warfare Remastered. You cannot buy Modern Warfare Remastered on its own.
No.
One note what's
Not
cool,
yet.
though. Single player only.
Yes.
So nobody's getting that
Oh, I
edge,
see what you're saying,
that
yeah.
Right. Nobody's going
multiplayer
to... You
edge.
play the campaign 30
Yeah.
days early. Yep.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. I mean, I guess that one doesn't quite fit because that's an exclusive thing that Sony made a weird deal for.
Backdoor shady deals.
Yes, absolutely.
Call of Duty holding Modern Warfare hostage.
I was just gonna say
Right.
that it's funny to have the newest game holding one of the older games hostage. Like,
Yeah. It is crazy because, I mean,
especially COD. Like,
you cannot play that. I said you can't buy it alone, but basically, if you want to play Modern Warfare Remastered right now, you are spending $80 or $120 to play that game right now.
Yeah.
You can't revoke that. You can't say, I want a return, I want a refund. You're putting down $80 or $120 to play that remaster. That's crazy.
early.
Early, yeah, exactly. And you're right, Jones. You're doing that to play it early. You could wait, and then you could play Infinite Warfare when that comes out, and that's all the same. Yeah, all that money goes toward more games. That's just what a weird world we're in.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird. I got no problem with that. Single player, sure, go play.
mean-
Pay extra, give the money to the devs, like you were
Yeah.
saying.
Jones put up the money for Gears because he had to,
Put up the money for Gears because
Right.
you had to.
basically.
What does that mean?
For review.
to review?
Did you get the Ultimate Edition then?
I did.
That's the only way. Because,
Ultimate. Well, it's like a little packs. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That's why when I booted up the game, they were
But
like,
Ben-
"Welcome to Gears. Here's 20 packs."
Ben was all for it. Like Ben's like, I'm gonna stream this on Friday, and so he
Yeah,
he
Ben is
Yeah,
one of
that's
those
a-
people. He's
that's-
one of those whales
yeah,
for
Ben
sure.
Moore's the whale.
Yeah.
Whale Ben. I could see Ben Moore rolling into a casino with a cowboy hat saying, "Where's the high rolling table?" That's Ben Moore.
But it's, I mean, that's
GameStop.
Yeah. This is a tricky argument because here we can talk about all the negatives of it. You know, how it can negatively impact the community, how it creates a stigma for the companies involved.
Yeah.
But like, Red Dead had some kind of $500 thing. Red Dead 3, I would do it. There's no question.
Yeah.
Jones, you said no. Hold on, a $500 thing.
I would pay anything to get that game any length of time, early. Not,
might buy
and
it
it
with
wouldn't be
Resident
before
Evil.
anybody. It's not like, oh, I get to play before those other people. It's like, just give it to me. I want it in my hands.
Now every listener of this podcast has to pray that no one at Rockstar
Yeah.
listens to this.
Yeah.
Well, Rockstar makes enough money. They don't need my $500.
Yeah. They don't.
For that to be successful.
I wonder though, Jones. I wonder if a Rockstar game, when that comes out, will have this kind of whale version.
Trending.
Especially
Yeah.
if they blow up Red Dead Online. If they do
Well,
a
the thing
big
is,
like
we
GTA
already
5.
have tons of whale versions, with all the bonus. I mean, this is just like the next thing added
But
onto
yeah,
it.
but
Yeah.
Blood,
The next incentive.
there's nothing like getting the game early.
Dude,
That
that's
is
the craziest
the
incentive.
number one
Yeah.
incentive.
But
It's
that's
like,
the-
well, you're giving me the game
But that's
early.
the crazy
Yeah.
thing, though, because a statue that costs a lot of money.
Totally.
An art book costs a heck of a lot of money to put together.
Yeah, we don't want that. We want to play the game 4 days
CD
early.
even puts the money. But yeah, you
Yeah.
just give them the game early. For most cases, not that much of a stretch
Yeah.
for the publisher.
You could charge more.
I should mention throughout this entire conversation, Ultimate Edition isn't new to Forza. I think Forza Horizon 2 even had an Ultimate Edition. It is spreading. As Huber said, it's a trend.
And I'm pretty sure Battlefield 3 and 4 also had something similar with the premium edition. Get it a couple days early.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But it's just going to be big games that are doing this.
You think that smaller games couldn't afford to?
Yeah, that's a huge risk.
What's the risk?
That by the time it launches, they're done. It's like people are, like they had the week before, and so it's like, oh, everyone's gonna check this out, a week in advance, and then people are like, hey, I'm playing this game, like, oh, cool, it comes out later in the week. You're like, all right, and then like 3 days later, nobody's really talking about it, and then 2 days later, we're out now. We're like, wait, didn't you come out last week? Like, no, that was just for them. We're out now. We're like,
Yeah,
no, you had it, you were done.
That's the problem
Whereas
with,
like these games, like a Forza or a COD or a Battlefield, like they know they're gonna be around for
Yeah, I mean,
at
that's the
least
problem with the
3,
traditional
4
early
months
access,
of
right?
just solid play, so
Like-
they can afford to do a 1-2 week thing.
Yeah.
I think anything over like a month is bad. Like 2 weeks is probably the
Come,
most
Boston,
you
I got
want
a
to do.
question for you.
Okay.
$149.99
All right.
US dollars.
Yeah.
1 week early. Final Fantasy 15. 1 week early. Yay.
No.
Ooh.
No.
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 But
no,
here's the
Even though even if you were afraid that the ship and the zeitgeist would be sailing without you for that week, there would be people just off exploring that world,
Tweeting pics at you.
tweeting pics. Just saw this sick Titan,
Yeah. I gotta
Spoilers.
say, and I mean, this is probably where we steer this conversation, is release dates and how special those feel. Taking a game home, Batman, Arkham
Yeah.
City, for some reason I have such a fond memory of that game
my
coming out
God,
that
yeah.
day.
Arkham Asylum
Going
is,
home, sitting right in front
Yeah.
of the TV, bringing my chair up close and knowing this is launch day.
Yes.
Dude,
That's
I
so funny you
remember-
say Arkham City, because Arkham Asylum is like one of the only games where I have a memory like that. Getting out of school, I was in college at the time, going to the local mall, going home just in the daytime, not even waiting till night, which is usually my ritual. Popped it in, and I remember Croc coming up in the elevator, and I set the controller down when Croc was like, "I've got your scent." Like, one of the most ingrained moments. And it came out that day, and I was
Yeah.
like, this is it right now.
And as kind of as Blood was touching on with early access, we're losing the specialness of release dates, I think.
Yeah. Well, I remember when, Mario Galaxy came out. Just like, we got that call. It's like, you got Mario Galaxy? Like there was just a pack of us, that drove down to gameplay and were like, we're just taking this home right now. We're playing it. Yeah.
Jones, is the idea of a release date something we gotta let go of? We have to abandon as we move forward in this crazy new generation of
No,
digital consoles?
Because even the week early is centered around, it's a week before the date, so you have to have that date. You have to say something at the end of a trailer. I don't think showing 11 days, if you show that date, to have the fine print. I mean, technically it's the week before or whatever. Like, the more
Yeah.
you dilute that, the worse it'll be, I think, for just your audience getting excited about it. I think so. Yeah, you don't want to do that too much. So I don't see it like I don't see the situation getting worse. I just see this becoming a standard for AAA games.
Kyle, man, that epiphany right there. Working in the industry, we're used to getting games early because
Yeah,
for
that's
review
true.
and stuff, and it kind of ruins that magic, Even if,
Oh, yeah.
if Bloodworth is reviewing The Witcher or Ben is reviewing Bloodborne and stuff, it's like they're off doing that, and like it's like out, but it's and we can like see it, but it's and it kind of ruins that we're all getting this at the same time together
Pokemon games.
moment.
Pokemon games have worldwide releases now, where they keep some Pokemon under wraps. Nobody will know about that Pokemon, and we're all going to play it together today, except Jones and I, like 2 weeks early. Right,
Yeah.
it sucks. That part does suck. You lose a little bit of that specialness.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's totally weird. Now any rich person can be as just as special as a video game reviewer if they have.
It's funny you brought up
Ultimate
Arkham
Edition.
City though, because that's the only game in the history of game trailers I ever got in trouble for taking home.
What
I remember
happened,
the
Jones?
story.
What
This
is
a
the
good
story? I don't know the story.
You're like, yep.
I asked Miguel, was reviewing it, and had spent 2 days with it, I think, and it was just on his desk. And poor Miguel was really stressed out, and he was like, I caught him like right in the middle of a conversation, and he was just like, yeah, okay, what? And I was like, are you done with Arkham City? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, can I take that home tonight? And he was like, yeah, sure. And just didn't think about it because I caught him right in the worst moment. And so like workday was over, I'm like, okay, whoopsie, bye. And like I was, I think home or on the way, and he called me from work and was like, I screwed up. Like you didn't take that, did you? And I'm like, I did. I'm at home. And he was like, and I'm like, I'm not gonna get in a car and drive over to your house because you said I could take it, and I took it and I drove home. You should have grabbed me before you left, or it was just like because he wasn't willing to come over and pick it up, and then he was like, oh, okay, fine. And like
I don't think he had a car, but
I literally was on the phone with him, being like, you're not getting this from me. Like anything he said, I gave him the reply of like, yeah, but it's really far to drive. And I mean, it's not really that big of a deal. If you need pickups, I'll get it. Like I was like, my cold dead hands, you are wrenching this game away from me.
And then you gave it back to him the next day?
Yeah, I think I got like 60% of the way through the game that night. I don't think I slept that night. I think I just played it like crazy person.
That's
and then
cool.
I came in the next day. There you go.
And he was like, come on, man.
God.
But I knew. I knew. Like when that phone rang, I was like, oh no. I think I hastily grabbed that.
Your phone
copy.
off.
But it's Batman.
You heard what you wanted to hear. I want to get through one more thing before our break. I want to talk about. This is the kind of thing where, as I'm collecting love and respect questions and comments, sometimes you see frequently brought up topics. Something I thought we were done talking about. People are still curious. They still want to hear us talk about it. It's Tim Tebow. Basically, it's like, let's talk about this. PlayStation VR, coming out this week.
okay.
And basically, I want you all to be analysts. I want us to have a conversation while we can about how we think PlayStation VR will perform this year.
Thought it was going to be bigger. It's not out yet, but I felt like there would be a lot more hype surrounding it.
Yeah.
And I'm not really feeling it in the ether, I'm not really feeling those vibes out there,
So that is kind of how I wanted to kick it off, is I was thinking of Kinect. I was thinking of PlayStation Move. It's a strange thing. I mean, those were well presented at their respective E3s, right? That was where Skittles happened. That's where Xbox 360 became so lame. That's where Kobe Bryant came out and played an NBA basketball game with a Move controller.
I always remember Connectimals.
Connectimals, yeah. That's Skittles.
Like being...
That's like, hey, Skittles, let me rub your
okay.
belly.
Yeah.
That was the kids playing that Disney game like, whoa. It sucked. It made E3 bad, the movements. We watched the Kinect die in this generation. It's weird. You didn't really notice it as it happened. Xbox One launched as Kinect being a main feature.
I said way too many nice things about the Kinect.
Did you?
Yeah, I was way down when it first came out. I was like, this is fascinating.
Wait, even when the Star Wars game was around?
I mean, I didn't think that Star Wars game was going to be great, but I thought the tech was cool. I'm like, there's I wasn't sure if we were going to get that game, but I'm like, that game is out there, whatever that is.
Yeah.
That can totally take advantage of this.
But to Huber's point, I always felt, well, for the last few E3s and maybe PSX and everything, leading in, the commentary was, they're going to spend a ton of time on VR. How are they even going to pitch ER? They should just VR. They should skip it. It's so boring to show VR. And then they barely did. Like Huber said, you haven't seen a ton of marketing within the avenues we're used to, press conferences and their trailers and things like that.
Taco Bell.
It's all over Taco Bell.
It's all over Taco Bell.
The biggest thing for me is, like, if Resident Evil 7 was launching day and date with it, or something huge, I think it'd be through the roof right now. I think the hunger would be there.
Do you think it's intentional though, Huber? Do you think that they're marketing adequately? Do you think they're not overhyping it?
I think there's been a lot of marketing. I think it's definitely there. Like when I look at the internet and I look at, gaming websites or PlayStation Store and stuff, like it's there. Mm-hmm. But for me personally, nothing is like drawing me to it. Again, it has to do with the games, like Batman VR.
But I think they know that. I mean, like you think about the like, would you like to play campaign? Like I think
we would like to play.
Yeah. We would like to play?
Yeah.
It's not would you like to play?
It's obviously we.
Yeah.
Oh.
The pun, man.
We would like to play, yeah.
I thought they were knocking on the door and saying, would you like to... They Wait, so when they're handing the controller to the consumer, they're not asking them if they want to play Wii?
No, they're saying we would like to play.
We would like to play.
Oh.
We would like to play.
All right. What a weird... Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's a bad line. That doesn't make...
Why is that?
like,
why is that a bad line? If you walk up to a friend in the park, it's like, hey, we'd like to play.
No, why? Some dude comes up to you at the park and is just like a deck of cards, like, I want to play with you. You're like, what? I don't know you. What?
I'd play Magic the Gathering.
Where it's like
anywhere,
a free
anytime.
gift, like, hey, we're coming to bringing you a
With
Wii.
anyone.
Whatever. But that was a clear that was a clear like different campaign. We hadn't seen something like that from Nintendo.
Yeah.
That was something that at a marketing meeting, someone came up. They hired those two guys, shot like 6 or 7 campaigns around different games, different types of families and stuff. Where like that hasn't happened with VR. Like we haven't seen like, oh, this is like what was the guy with the suit with stuff's blowing up behind him and he's like, PlayStation 4 is gonna be crazy, woo! And like all this CG and stuff jumping around. Like we haven't seen one of those. Mm-hmm. So I think they put on the brakes a little bit and realized like, I don't think spending money on that is gonna come back to us with VR this year.
I think the other thing that could possibly be is, they know their ceiling on manufacturing, and they already see where the pre-orders are at, and so it's like, why blow a bunch of money on ads if they can't like really support that with hardware?
Took the words right out of my mouth, Bloodworth. And like similar to that is, as a consumer, I'm so used to everything like this being sold out for so long, been burned by Nintendo. Consoles at launch when they come out, it's like, yo, if you didn't pre-order 6 months ago, you're out of luck. So maybe if you don't have it pre-ordered now, which obviously is a ton of, like, the vast majority does not have a PSVR pre-ordered.
Yeah.
They're not even looking at it because it's just hopeless.
Yeah.
Do you think that mindset is out there?
I don't think so. I think that's...
For me, it kind of is. Like, that's where I'm coming from.
You feel hopeless right now?
It's if I don't get in line with you at,
Target,
1 a.m. at Target, I'm not getting it. Might as well wait for the next huge wave of PSVRs.
Yeah, I don't know. We haven't really had a sold-out console in a long time.
I'm just still living off the GameCube adapter, Nintendo. You burned me. Psychological impact. I'm still feeling it.
You can go buy one right now.
I know. It's too late. The ship has sailed.
So, as opposed to the marketing thing, though, I do feel that PlayStation VR is a big investment from Sony. I almost feel like they are investing more in this than they did with the Move. Obviously, Move is a component of this. But, I mean, look at Batman. Look at Batman Arkham VR.
Yeah.
This is a game from Rocksteady. This is their final Batman game.
I know, it's pretty crazy.
We were just talking about how much we love the Batman Arkham games. Mm-hmm. This is the last one. Yeah. How crazy is that? This is a 1-year PlayStation exclusive. This game doesn't need to exist. I don't understand why it exists, but I'm very excited to see it and play it.
And it's like Vive and the like Valve making the what's the VR Valve game called? I forget what it's called, but
is it Playroom? Is it
the Lab?
The Lab.
The Lab.
Okay.
It's like if Arkham VR wasn't 2.5 hours and kind of a spin-off, I'd be first in line. But
it's
like
canon here.
I know. I'm trying to justify it, Kyle, because I'm not a whale. Because I'm not a whale. It's like $400 for 2.5 hours. It's a tough sell.
Yeah.
I want
it's
to
not
play that so bad.
I mean, I can tell why this game exists, and it's not because this is the best VR experience you could have. It's because it's Batman. Because it's like they like, if you look at every single thing that's going to be launching on PSVR, or really anything that's on VR right now, like there's very few games that let you be that person
Yeah.
You know? It's always like, oh no, you're a skier, or I work at a silly job, or I'm just like a generic, oh, there's zombies coming at me, I'm a guy.
You're a floppy
Whereas,
weird.
like, this is one of the only games that's like, no, you are a character that is known of, obviously in many mediums, but like very, predominantly in video games, especially the last like 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
And you can be, Lara Croft. You can be Master Chief. You can be Batman.
You see the X-Wing demo,
Right.
and your hands are in the sky.
Yeah.
Yes, please put me in that X-Wing. Absolutely, I want to be an X-Wing all day long.
So
Yes.
like you mentioned the lore. I kind of snicker like, oh yeah, I guess there is more to learn about the Arkham world. I guess in this game, I don't know. It's like a different Alfred, so whatever. But it's like, I guess one of the only people that bothers me. Just when I played it, as the guy that walked in, I was like, who are you? Yeah,
That's weird.
totally yeah.
Comments, can you confirm that it's a different Alfred in Batman VR? This is a
prove it to
constant
myself.
debate.
That's super.
We
The
need that.
dude that walked in Wayne Manor and approached me and started talking to me, I had never heard that voice or seen that character model before.
Is it
ever.
the Wayne,
It's like,
same Wayne Manor from
no, I don't think you never like go to Wayne Manor in the Arkham.
the battle room, the Predator mode?
That was DLC to the most recent
Yeah, yeah.
game, correct?
Oh yeah, I don't think I caught up with that.
Okay.
I wouldn't know either.
doubt
I'm
it.
sorry, Hubert.
I highly doubt it. It's the Harry Potter syndrome where like
Yeah.
Hogwarts and the second and third movie are totally different schools.
Yeah.
I'm just like, screw you guys. What? You couldn't even keep the Hogwarts the same? There's a pendulum here now. Like, great. All right. Sweet. Like, let's go to Hagrid's. Like, it's over there. Where are you going? Oh, it's like down a hill next to a graveyard now? Okay.
Yeah.
So, Jones, you know what's funny about that is they kind of assume that most people won't notice. I absolutely did not
yeah.
notice.
Oh, dude, it kills me.
That, yeah,
But at the
'cause
same time,
that kind of thing
dude,
would really hurt
don't-
me.
I'll defend 8 movies of continuity in Harry Potter till the death, like holding all of those movies together and seamless as it is.
Sure.
But I mean, a different Alfred. Like, why?
And it might have just been making it in 3D. They wanted to touch him up a little bit. So, like, it might have been
Which of the Arkham games do you see
might have
Alfred?
been the same actor in all of them.
You see Alfred show up?
I believe so.
Definitely not in Arkham Knight.
He's in Origins a ton.
Definitely an
Oh,
Origins.
okay. Well, that's a younger Alfred.
Yeah, weird. Okay, I like it wasn't.
We're getting caught up on a tiny thing,
I had
yeah.
no comparison to make when I saw that
Yeah.
Alfred. I was like, you don't look like any Alfred I've seen. Like he was, definitely a new guy.
It
But I
took
just,
you out.
but I just think, yeah, I wonder how much of it was the push from Sony and how much of it's Rocksteady actually being like, oh, we have the engine.
I wonder
We
that too.
We already kind of wrote this. I'm sure we could dig up old, scripts we wrote and patch it together and.
So I actually got to speak to some Rocksteady team at E3 outside of the Batman demo, and they were extremely excited about it. They were pumped to make this VR game, and so that was really unusual to see. I think because it wasn't going to take as long as another Arkham game. They're like,
Yeah.
yeah, we just spent a year on this. It's been great. So that was really cool.
And their whole slogan for that entire franchise is "Be the Batman."
Yeah.
Right.
Now,
Yeah.
Well,
VR.
go ahead, be
right,
that
yeah,
Batman.
that was there, technically.
Sorry?
Specifically, Arkham Knight be the Batman.
That's
Yeah.
been their like mantra though.
yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, very, very crazy. And I think Sony spent a buttload of money on
Oh
that.
yeah.
And that's where we started. As I think maybe marketing hasn't been such a huge investment, but development, absolutely. They dumped a ton of money into VR.
Yeah, no, definitely, and I think maybe that's part of it because it is such a high ask, and it is sort of a niche group that's going to be interested at first, at least in terms of being able to pay that money. Like, I'm interested, but like I can't pay that money right now. It's like
Yeah.
it's not really even an option right at the moment. So it's one of those things that I think let it get out there into people's hands and let it be, because like you brought up the Move, and it's the Move for a while felt like, okay, this is useless and it's dead,
Yeah.
but Sony still kept them on shelves, still let people buy them, still had one or two things here or there that would use them, and now like they are a critical part of
Does
the VR.
Batman
Yeah.
VR use the Move?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you were talking about movies earlier, and it's like 2.5 hour game, Batman VR, they said. This is $500 basically, in my mind,
Yeah.
to see a movie. Mm-hmm. It'd be like Star Wars Episode 8, $500.
No.
That is the equivalent to me, and I know you're getting...
It's being inside of a movie, Huber. This is the thing.
Still.
This is the closest I've ever felt to playing in so long.
Avatar IMAX.
I'm playing. Huber, I get to play inside of these worlds.
I know, but it's $500.
I get to be in there.
It's so much.
Oh, it's so fun.
To put the cape and cowl on your face.
Yeah, I'm wasting money. I will be doing my best to buy one of these this week, and I'm wasting that money happily just because our lives are so short. We only get to live in this one existence. But what if we could have more than one?
Screw this existence.
Just hope
Yeah.
you know somebody to freeload off. Coming to somebody's house.
My house.
Coming to your house. Playing
Come over.
Playing Batman and saying, all right, see you in January.
But you see, I
Resident
think
Evil.
that's also part of it. Like, that's also part of it. Like, people saying, hey, this is so cool, you've got to see it.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
that's the
what-
only way to market VR.
I have a feeling PSVR is going to be a lot of people's first VR.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's why I wonder. Actually, I had a thought like a week or two back. I was like, oh, I wonder if PSVR is going to be where all of the companies actually spend money at the beginning of VR. That they're like, oh, you know, obviously this product would look way better, would run way better, we'd get more actual like really vital feedback from an already established VR community if we had it on the Oculus or the Vive. But people would actually spend money on it if we put it on PSVR. Like, it would actually probably there'd be more units out there. It would probably get more buzz. It would just, you know, you would boot up your PS4. There it is already. You know, it's like a little ad in the corner, like, hey, here's this VR game.
Yeah.
As opposed to just like buried on Steam somewhere, and it's just a really obscure. Even when we finally got the Vive up and running, I had to like email some people being like, what am I getting? I don't know. There's a lot of games out there. I just don't know off the top of my head what I've heard the buzz of those of what the good games are, and I just see the buzz traveling faster through the Sony network just out of the gate. You know, like
Totally.
I think they'll eventually get taken over because it is the worst of the VRs as far as just raw technology.
Yep.
is
Yeah,
concerned.
but the funny
It's the
thing is
fuzziest.
it's, you know, it's I actually get kind of annoyed when people bring up this argument generally with you know, console versus PCs, the couch versus the office kind of thing, because like a lot of PC gamers, like, you know, you do have it hooked up to a TV or in your living room or whatever. But it is more common for people that, like, if they want to jump into VR, you need that space. You need like this open space in front of you, you know, at least a bit. And yeah, for a lot of people, if they're not PC gamers but they're interested in VR, like, you know, that space isn't really there where their PC is.
Sure.
So it's another like one of those things where and you know, having people over and like being there in the living room and all of that and sharing it. The other thing I think, and I want to see, like, I'm not that, that's the thing that's kind of annoying right now, is like I'm not that familiar with everything they're bringing out at launch. But the things that I've seen leading up as Sony's been prepping their VR thing is that they have like really addressed that social component with stuff like the Playroom and like they've really been looking at things that will be and the screen, the social screen thing that they've got that's like just out of the box, like every game is going to go like put onto the TV just automatically so that people in the room can see what you're doing.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So it's like
the
they've
HDMI
really
right there.
thought about making sure that it's not a completely isolated experience, that there will be multiplayer experiences, that there will be ways for people in the room to, you know, see what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's, you know, I think that's a big part of making this thing move forward. And that, along with having just, it's seeming to be a lot of developers on board.
I love the isolation of VR. Playing a horror game in VR in an empty apartment, bone chilling. Like, get ready. You know, someone can
Yeah.
be in the room. How many times are you gonna be like,
Lift it
"Is anyone
off.
here? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Come back to reality. Okay. Check this.
Just because I'm scared. Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry, Hubert. Do you hear that?
I think so.
Oh, it sounds like it's podcast half time.
Oh no! We have sponsors! The following are the official sponsors of Easy Allies for the month of October. Michael Kazachenko, Mango. iKeyless. Need a new car key or remote? iKeyless.com has been in the key replacement business since 2002. Check them out today and they can help save you up to 75% off the dealership prices. If you type in offer code EASYA at checkout, you'll get 15% off of your order. Scorn, an atmospheric horror adventure developed by Ebb Software, set in a nightmarish universe of odd forms and somber tapestry. Go to scorn-game.com for more information. Sweet Justice, a sound design company based in England that's worked on Battlefield, Mirror's Edge, Call of Duty, and makes some super jazzy t-shirts. You can see their work at www.sweetjustice.audio. You can also hear their work there. YoYoTricks.com, a tutorial website for teaching people how to yo-yo. To buy yo-yos and learn how to get started, visit YoYoTricks.com or their YouTube channel. Go to yoyotricks.com/easyallies to get 25% off their top recommended yo-yo for anyone who is ready to start learning yo-yo tricks.
That's a good deal.
All of these links are available in the description. Thank you to our sponsors. Hot deals this week.
Hot deals!
I love it.
The value of being an Easy A listener. That is a nice shirt. To
That's a cozy
listeners,
shirt, yeah.
Great
Jones is wearing a
shirt.
really nice
There's an octopus. He's got headphones
Sweet
on.
Justice shirt.
Speakers around him.
What a cool shirt.
I wonder if they sell
Kick-ass
those,
sound
or if you
design.
have to be within Sweet Justice to even don it.
That is a really cool looking octopus. It's like finding Dory levels right there. Seriously, Hank.
Nice, Hubert. Good pull on that name.
Two Modern Family cast members in
It's-
finding.
Who's the other
Dory.
one?
The dad. The middle dad.
Oh,
the funny,
yeah,
the magic
yeah.
dad.
He's the
Yeah.
yeah.
The
Okay.
only reason I remember his name, Kyle, is because he is my favorite character of 2016.
Whoa.
Hank.
Oh, Hank.
Finding Dory.
My favorite character, also in that movie, Bernard, I think is his name. Gerald.
Oh, the bird?
the unibrowed sea lion
Yeah.
who they yell at.
Super good.
Get out of here, Gerald.
Oh, Jeremy
yeah,
the seal. Oh, yeah.
yeah, the sea lion. Yeah, it just pops up at the end. It's like, I did it. I'm the best in the world. Yeah. Oh, God.
Gerald's really big, and the Disney community has gone nuts with him. They,
Oh, really?
They already have T-shirts and posters and all the.
Disney community, I support you. You picked the right one. Yeah. There's just, how do you make just you look at this character and you laugh at it. How do you
They
do
know
that?
it. That's what Pixar does, man.
And they scream at poor Gerald. Okay,
get it.
let's do some love and respect.
Love and respect.
He is sounding good tonight.
Yeah,
Rufus.
better than ever.
That was
Greatest hits.
crisp.
Greatest hits.
Thank you, Rufus. Our first love and respect will be a game. We're playing a game first this week.
Oh boy.
Hello, allies. I have a game for you called That's My Boy. You know what? I don't want to be sexist. It could also be That's My Gal.
Okay.
Okay. I know
Okay.
that none of you allies have kids yet, but someday you will, and it's awesome. Trust me. I'm 35, and I've been an avid gamer all my life. My son is almost 12 and loves playing as well. Over the past few years, I've been introducing him to some of the older games that were before his time, but were very special and influential to me. The most recent example being the original BioShock.
Okay.
Not only does he love it,
Whoa.
but we both thought it was cool that when we went to create his game save, my recent old game save from my same old Xbox 360 was 9 years old to the day.
Sick.
He was only 2 years old when I played it in 2007. The game is called That's My Boy. One day you'll have kids and will most likely want to share your favorite games with them.
Okay.
I would love for the panel, including Kyle, to go through the circle 3 times, listing off what games from your past you'd love to share with your kids someday. My 3 picks. This is the commenter's 3 picks: Zelda, Link to the Past, Mario 64, Portal. Love and respect. 3 Flush Dump, who is the father, and Metro Gnome, who is the son. Good. Whoa. Clever name. Metro Gnome with a G.
Yeah. I like that.
Well done. Your son is a very clever name. 12 years old. Okay. So, Jones, we're going to start with you down there.
Oh my.
What is one game you'd love to share with your progeny?
Yeah, Portal's a good one, but it's got to be the right age.
Let's say 12. Let's assume 12. That's fine. Hey, if you want that to be your first pick, do it.
No.
Don't be shy.
No, because then this is great. When more coming out, it's like I don't want that. I don't want to open myself up to that. Literally, like, Daddy, what are these
have to
things
have
that we
the
don't
talk.
talk about those?
The talk. Yeah.
They're the one behind the glass and the bulletproof paneling. Any Lego game, probably.
Any Lego game.
Yeah.
So why any Lego game?
Low stress. There's not a lot of no nagging. There's no position. No, don't do that. Let Dad do this part for you, or you do this, or just like I'm gonna go over here and mess with this. Like, great, do it. There's no wrong way to play this. Mm-hmm. If you want to make progress, I can help you out solve this puzzle. But if you don't care and you just want to run around as Superman beating people up, go for it.
Huber, your first game.
foundation, fundamentals.
Yes.
Super Mario Brothers 3.
Oh, yeah, you stole my pick. That's a great pick.
That's the first game.
Yep. Daniel Bloodworth.
I gotta go Ocarina of Time.
Okay, you're taking my picks.
Yeah.
So why Ocarina of Time?
Because I think it really does feel like it captures that magic in a lot of ways of, just discovering the world for the first time and discovering all the different things that you can do, and and it's, it's just got so many things that, even though they have been done better in many ways, they're still very timeless.
Yeah.
Like the music is very timeless, and the cinematic camera movements, and just, the characters that you get introduced to. It's just, and the, the little bits of humor here and there.
Yeah. Well, that's a great pick. You did the right thing. So I guess for my number one pick, a game that'd be really fun to play with a child is Pokemon Red and Blue.
Or just any Pokemon, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and this child is 12 years old, so maybe those are not cool. Maybe it would be right to play the most recent Pokemon. But that'd be so fun to play with a child and compete with and talk about. Basically, as I was your father during Pokemon Jones. Talk about stuff. Just like, oh, that's how leveling up works. That's how you evolve, man. That's how this works. I think that'd be really fun. That'd be a good game to share. Jones, your second pick.
Probably FF6, just because that story impacted me so deeply.
What is FF?
Final Fantasy 6, Final Fantasy 3 here in the States. Now more commonly referred to as 6 in between 5 and 7. I think that's one of those that I would be curious to see if a child of mine would be interested at all. Would be interested in that story, or what characters they would like, or what their party composition would be. Because that was like my first foray to really deep RPG. Like I'd played Zelda games before, but this was like multiple characters coming and going, people dying. Like very mature things, like even jokes that I'm like, I think, whoa, that was kind of a sexual innuendo, like really picking up stuff that like I felt even as a teenager that like the younger set wouldn't necessarily pick up on. So that's a kind of game where I would explore and just be completely hands off, be like, I have no expectations. If you don't like this, that's okay. You're free to just 4 hours in be like, nope, I don't like this, Dad. Be like, great, okay,
yeah,
play something else.
Huber, number 2.
Resident Evil.
Period.
Remake.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah. He's got to play 1 before he plays 2.
Right.
So I'm gonna go with remake. It is. I would just love to like turn out the lights, and who knows where Resident Evil will be in the next 10 or so years, 20 years from now. But I would love to watch someone explore that mansion that hasn't seen the zombie turnaround a million times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I want like
this kid is 12 years old, terrified, and you're like, "Isn't this cozy, my boy?"
Yeah.
And you're like slapping his knee with like there's a tear rolling down your eyes. The child is like shaking with the controller.
Like I want to see him go through that door. I would just be watching his reaction.
Yeah.
When that zombie turns.
Cool. That's a good pick. Daniel Bloodworth, your second pick.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Super Metroid for sure. One of my favorites.
Super Metroid, cool.
And I think it's something, when we were talking about that age or whatever. It's like it's something that's, it has that atmosphere. It has that, it's like actually it was one of the first games that I had played like on a stereo system at like a friend's house. And playing that super late at night on a stereo system.
Stereo
system. It was actually
freaky
at points. Even though it was all just because of atmosphere,
That's a freaky game.
It's so and it's just, again, it's sort of about, that whole game is about sort of figuring things out for yourself and, poking at walls, figuring out what's this way, what's going to be the best thing to do.
Yeah.
And taking it upon yourself to do that.
Okay. My second pick is going to be it's so tricky. You don't want to force anything on your child. You want to
shoving Resident Evil down their
You want to let your
throat.
child discover things for themselves, absolutely. But yeah, you want to share stuff. You want to share things that are important to you.
Yeah.
Oh, fine. Metal Gear Solid 1.
Good pick.
We're doing it.
Heck yeah, you're doing it.
Sometimes my mom would show me a scary movie and just say, "We're doing this. You
Yes.
gotta watch this scary movie."
Yes.
I like Children of the Corn. You gotta like this.
Dude,
Mom,
Mrs.
no, this is so scary.
Bossman, yes.
Yeah, so yeah, it's like whatever. You're playing Metal Gear Solid. All right, Jones, you're number 3.
Wait, why is he? Why are he or she playing it?
Basically, gosh, I love this game so much. It's a game. It's vibes. It's I want to impart the aesthetic, the twist, the conversations, the art. I dig so much about Metal Gear Solid, and it's just it'll hold up like the scary movies my mom made me watch. Yeah. Where it's like, this kind of sucks a little bit. It's like, no, it's good, it's good. Yeah, but it's also there's I think value inherent to it. So yeah, I think it's still worth looking at.
Nice.
Jones, your final pick.
Mine's kind of a half answer because it depends on which one of these types of games would be around, if and when I do have a child. But I remember playing World of Warcraft when Lich King came out, and being online doing dailies or something, and like some dude jumped on, and I was like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" And like didn't respond. I'm like, "Hey, what's up, man?" And like, so then they don't on, okay. And then just like go and do my thing, and they got a reply where it's like, "Oh, sorry, I'm his son. This isn't. I'm just like doing his dailies for him or getting an item or something." I was like, "You're what?" And like,
I'm doing my dailies for dad,
or like, yeah, or they were
so
or
weird.
Something, yeah. The kid was basically just like, "Oh, I'm just jumping in for a second," and I was like, "Whoa, the small child version of this person I know through this MMO is playing this game," you know. And so like that would be the concept of playing an MMO with the offspring would be crazy. You know, that like we're technically both playing the same game. Yeah, we can run raids together, but like we don't need to be in the same guild. We don't need to be the same level, same class. You know, like if our experiences cross paths, great. If they don't, not required. Mm-hmm. But that would be fascinating to actually like live throughout weeks and months in a virtual world with a family member.
I like that. Good pick. Huber, your final pick.
Dragon Quest VIII Journey of the Cursed King.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
We're going on an adventure.
Yeah.
Saddle up.
Saddle up.
Like, we're getting a nice meal before this.
Mm-hmm. Will you let your child name the characters?
Absolutely.
Great.
You can only name the player character.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're going on an adventure. It's my favorite adventure in video games. That's
Still?
it. Yeah.
Wow. Your favorite adventure.
And I think, the art style, I think, holds up. Like how you're talking about Metal Gear Solid art holding up.
Yeah.
I think Dragon Quest VIII will look great.
Forever.
Yeah, forever.
Forever.
It'll look just beautiful.
Yeah. Daniel Bloodworth, your final pick.
Burnout 2.
Nice.
Cool. Wow, Burnout 2.
Yeah.
Why?
Point of impact.
Because here is a game where screwing up is a blast.
Nice.
Like when you're just like barreling down the freeway and you're just trying to dodge cars and you just don't. And then your car just gets wrecked and this car's wrecked and it's just tumbling and it's like, yeah, that's awesome. I screwed up, but that's awesome. And you just have fun failing constantly.
The two of you laughing and having a good time.
And then
Yeah,
also,
that's really cool.
it introduced the crash mode. So then it's like you try to set up the domino effect and the chains, and then once in a while, like you'll get something like really crazy glitchy that happens and makes the whole thing sort of explode.
Yeah.
And it was before, I think it was 3 when they introduced like the whole thing about taking down other cars and like
like being able to smash for no reason.
And so
sure.
that to me, like I feel like they got a little bit better later. But that to me in the races, it sort of felt like it took away because it's like every time you'd smash somebody, it'd be like this cutscene kind of thing.
Hate that cutscene.
So the crash mode was still really great in 3, but it was like the races were a little bit slowed down by the takedowns and then just trying to be super aggressive.
Yeah.
Whereas like 2 is just like no, like you're still focused on trying to get through traffic and everything, but When you wreck, you wreck. Yeah.
Can you imagine your dad saying, "Hey, I got to show you something. When you wreck, you wreck." Like, yeah, all right,
It's
Dad.
not like, I mean, Forza
Let's do
Horizon
this.
3 is a great game.
Yeah.
But like when I slam into a car, it's like, okay, just back up. Keep going.
I thought your tweet recently was really funny when you were talking about how cars get wrecked in movies, just shattered to pieces.
Yeah.
And for some reason, they're very sensitive about it in video games. Good tweet. My last pick is going to be Tetris. Now, hear me out. My dad has always been better than me at Jet Moto. I can never beat him. So I want a game that I am always better at than my child. I want to
Would you
have
be
this
really
game.
casual about it?
What's
Like, would you, if your son was like, "Wow, Dad, you're really good at Tetris," you'd be like, "Yeah,
Yeah, you'll never beat me.
that's no big deal." Oh, you would assert yourself.
Yeah. You got to assert yourself.
So would you say before the child even started playing it, now Daddy's a lot better than you at this game?
Yeah.
and that's okay.
It's because like that
You
is
just
something
need to know that
for some
and
reason-
tell me repeatedly.
I still hold that in high regard is that my dad could beat me at Jet Moto. You know, that's so like that's a part of his identity in my mind. Like, oh, he's really good at Jet Moto. So like, I want that. I want to like something just like, yeah, you'll never be better than I am at that. Yeah,
Oh, they're beating you.
No.
Your child is beating you in Tetris.
I still never got good at Jet Moto.
Tweet it out when it happens.
I'm gonna train that kid like the Karate Kid. We're gonna be on the
No, you
beach.
should be-
You'll
you're gonna
sneak
train
in
him.
with my
We're gonna
Jet.
be-
he'll shatter the Boston record. That took like 30 weeks to
Yeah.
get to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, in one
That's
day.
all I'm gonna want to do is train that kid in the art of Tetris.
Well, then I'll find some other. What'll be Mario Kart? Then I'll be like, all right, let's play Mario Kart. I'll beat you at this. Okay. So I need
Naruto,
to.
man.
Come
The new
on.
generation
Yeah. Bonds.
passes the old.
Yeah.
I believe it.
So you think someday I'll get good at Jet Moto?
Yeah, you clearly didn't play enough. If you wanted to, you could beat your dad in Jet Moto.
I bet you're right. I bet if
Settle
I,
it. Settle it.
I think part of me likes him being good
Exactly.
at Jet Moto. Yeah, part of that is that. So when I make the love and respect posts on patreon.com/easyallies, sometimes I'll tell people who's going to be on the panel. I have a question directed at Daniel Bloodworth, and I have a question directed at Michael Huber.
Nice.
Okay.
So Blood,
Didn't actually tell us we were going to be on the panel at
Yeah.
that point, but
yeah, you gotta feel the vibes. It's what's been happening. Blood is we've had like a 7-week gap of no bends, and so it's just like kind of like stopped really planning ahead too much. Anyway, this one comes from Mark Mon. Quick questions for Bloodworth. Do you use a racing wheel?
no.
Are you a rally, circuit, or drift racer?
Rally.
Yes.
Ooh.
Nice.
Do you follow F1, and if so, what are your favorite all-time team and racers?
I followed F1 for a couple of years and kind of got out of it now. And now I basically just see it whenever my wife turns it on.
So your wife is more into it than you are, huh?
At this point.
Wow. But do you have a favorite all-time team and racer?
I mean, I feel like it just sort of biased to like where we started, like because Vettel was winning like crazy.
Vettel.
So Vettel has been sort of the pick, but yeah.
Mark Vaughn's picks are Ferrari and Mika Hakkinen. So there you have it. Finally, Bloodworth. Will you review or at least try out Dirt Rally VR?
Oh, I definitely would want to try it out in VR. Yeah,
Cool.
I feel like Dirt Rally I kind of wanted to review, but it was always in this weird situation where I just felt like I was just missing it. And then since I felt like I missed it, I never really got to get into the game that I wanted to, the way I wanted to. So it's strange. Like I have it on my PC, but I haven't really played it.
Yeah. That was kind of early access, right?
Oh, it's super early access. Like
Yeah.
they announced the game, and it's like you can play it.
Yeah. Weird.
And the same thing, like when the game was like released, it's like, hey, the game's out now.
And nobody's
Everyone
like,
buy it.
yeah, we already had. What is that?
And
yeah.
then it came out on consoles like 5 months, 6 months later.
That loses that impact, that launch date impact that we're talking about.
Man, I had the rally wheel for Gran Turismo 3 on PS2. for the
Whoa.
steering wheel. That was the only time I ever had a racing wheel.
Yeah, I have
But it was
one.
so cool. You put it up on the TV tray,
Yeah.
sit in the chair. Oh, so fun.
I have one for GameCube that I was sent for reviews, and actually Burnout 2. Burnout 2 was the perfect game.
I
for
see
that
this connection
racing
here. Yeah.
wheel. It was every other game never really felt right with it. They made games compatible that should have never been used with a racing wheel. Mario Kart was compatible with that wheel.
Oh, cool.
And F-Zero was compatible with that wheel. So if you
Nice.
wanted to gain altitude, you had to push the D-pad while you're trying to steer.
But
Oh,
I
I
have
see.
a really personal question for you.
Oh, very personal. Here we go.
Tell me your history with San Francisco Rush stunt mode.
And you don't have to. If that's too personal, you don't have to answer.
Yeah. You know,
I don't have a huge San Francisco Rush history. I think
Okay.
I rented it once or twice.
Ryan Stevens is your guy for San Francisco Rush
Okay.
questions. He is.
I'll
He
get him on
loves
the
that
phone.
series. Yeah. Hubert, yours is not addressed to you, but I need you to answer this question.
Okay.
The rest of us can chime in, but I need Hubert first.
Okay.
Hi, allies. I recently got Resident Evil 1 for my PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
And after 2 days of playing through the same
Uh-oh.
hour of the game over and over again, I put the game down and probably won't ever come back to it. The typewriter and ink ribbon system, while unique, is utter garbage. Save stations in general have always bugged me, and I'm very happy they no longer exist in today's games. My question to you is, what other remnants of older games or game franchises do you absolutely hate and are happy to see vanish from the media? Or what elements do you wish would make a comeback? Thanks a lot, guys. Love and respect. Olayer 3.
Well, you read that.
You gotta earn those saves.
Yeah, I love the save system in Resident Evil because
Continue.
just because it makes it more meaningful when you get to a safe station. When you get to a safe room in Resident Evil, it is a very great feeling, and it puts pressure on you, and I like that pressure. When I'm too OP in video games, when there's no fear, when it's automatically saving at all times, there's a disconnect for me.
So do you wish there were save stations more in games?
It super depends on the game.
Sure.
You know, I definitely wouldn't want it video game wide, but used in the right situation, it
Dragon
makes
Quest
me
Builders
care.
hard save.
Yeah, Dragon Quest
No
7.
autosaves.
I'm playing
Hard
right now.
save.
They're like, hey, you have to go to the church to save.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
'cause- And when you're out in the wild, you feel like you're out in the wild. It's
Yeah.
a risk. Like you got to make it back to town.
Yeah.
I love that.
I kind of do too.
It's so nice.
I'm not sure I'm here with you, Olayer, but maybe we should discuss further.
Really quick though.
Yeah.
I got RE because why not? It's free in PlayStation Plus.
Sure.
Played it for an hour. Totally 100% lost. Completely trapped.
What
Don't know where to go. I just don't know what to do. Like
Will you ever go back or are you done?
well, I mean, I played the game like 5 times, and I'm not talking about Resident Evil, like the remake. I've played
Sure.
and replayed.
Can
I just can't remember.
I
stream it
hear a
together?
Halloween stream coming.
Can we stream it together now?
Sure, yeah.
Yes.
But
Yes.
it's just so funny though. My inventory. I'm playing as Chris. My inventory's maxed out. I've tried every damn door. I'm like, what on earth?
It's not like
remember
you're-
it's a little
it's
different.
not
They
like you're
do-
dying,
They
you're
do
just-
a little
yeah.
sneakaroo on you because you're like, oh well, I played RE on PlayStation. It's this door.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
what? You know.
I love that they did that.
And
Absolutely.
Yeah. Don't know what I'm doing.
Blood, is there anything that
That's so funny. I played it so many times.
is there anything you're happy that's gone from games?
Happy that's gone.
Yeah. A thing that used to annoy you so much. You're like, I
got a
don't have
good
to deal
one.
with that anymore. What's that?
Wii Motion. Peace.
Oh, come on.
No, that's fine. What do you mean, come on?
Hate Wii Motion.
Yeah.
Hated it.
Well, it's back now, baby. We got
It's-
VR.
I know. But like Wii Motion was the like chink in Nintendo's armor for me. I never liked it. Or I said I liked it once, I guess, and that's Legend of Zelda. Other than that, though, I just never got into it. I just want like then they did the gamepad because they felt they needed like to have a controller gimmick. I feel like
You're creeping into a
I
whole
know.
discussion.
I
that-
know.
Oh boy, it's a spider in my
NX
throat.
better have
Huber.
just a regular controller.
It's not gonna.
I don't want this handheld hybrid machine, Kyle.
You don't have to buy it. Just get your PSVR. Save up your money.
Wii Motion.
Do you have one, Blood? You thought of one?
Well, no, I have something, but it's unfortunately not gone.
Oh, what is it?
It's the mash. Like you just come up to something like, oh, mash to get through this. Mash to get through this. Like it doesn't have.
I love
any
Mash
kind
to
of
get through this.
tactile.
Especially when you're like defending yourself. Mash it.
Oh, dude, yeah, the Dead by Daylight, baby.
Yeah.
God of War. You're
Yeah.
mashing to lift those walls. It makes
Yeah.
that wall have a bigger impact. Blood hates
You know,
the mashing.
you know what doesn't have mashing that I thought was interesting? Gears.
No mashing.
When it's like, here, help me open this door, and then you just hit the button and they open it. There's no like, oh, open the door.
Yeah, I mean,
I was waiting to do it, and then was like, oh right, they don't do that.
But what I love is when somebody has just like Active Reload is a good example of like something that like when you do it, it realistically, if you analyze it, it should have no bearing on like what you're doing in the game. But when you do it, it feels like, oh, I'm doing this thing, I'm turning this crank or whatever. Mashing just never feels like that to me. It's like, oh, we're just gonna slam this really hard to like push something or to open something or it's just.
We can say when we want gone.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's obvious.
What?
Radio towers. I want them gone from
Well,
video games.
no, I mean-
now, don't give me this of like not every game has radio towers. Variations of an item in an open world or game that you tinker with to reveal meaningless collectibles. I want it gone from video games altogether. Meaningless collectibles rile me up. They get me so heated. They take away from a video game for me. They take me out of it. I need a reason to do what I'm doing, not to check a box.
Jones, counterpoint.
Not for padding.
Well, isn't a quest giver a tower? You go to an object on a map, you click on a thing.
No,
that
that's not a
object
tower.
then sends you somewhere else.
There is a person
that you were
there.
not
Yeah.
aware of.
There is a reason that person is sending me on a quest. Not, I'm going to climb this. Oh,
Right.
now I see
But
all this
right,
stuff.
but is there a reason that person's standing there by that barrel?
good games there are.
all day, every day. Like, is there like an inherent realism in that? Like,
in great
no,
video
is there-
games, side quests.
I don't see any less realism
in.
in that than going to a tower and
What about
and
Arkham Knight?
actually like taking, especially if you're taking over the map, especially if it's a map where it's like this is an apocalypse, no one lives there. You have to go and turn that thing back on and reestablish contact,
And then pick up trash for no reason?
enemy people. Well, that's just a bad objective. You don't blame the tower on the thing the tower sent you to.
Don't blame the
With
tower.
the tower, though.
The tower's a messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. You know?
With that messenger
You're talking
comes
about bad.
trash.
You're talking about bad collectibles, bad side missions. It's not. I don't think
Like
there's a
GTA.
problem inherent in the tower just by itself. I think there's ways to do that.
I think sadly we got to move on. I got more
I can talk
stuff.
to Jones about this all day long.
Do we think we could do one more quick question?
Sure.
Because I really like this. Man,
do
there's
it.
so much good stuff this week. There's a comment that made me cry this week. It was another father-son, but it was writing about his father. It was a really good comment. But let's do this one. Hey, allies. I absolutely love 3D platformers, the collectibles, the unparalleled level design, the humor, and last but not least, the joy of jumping. Capitalize both J's. I understand why. The joy of jumping. Super Mario 64 remains to this day to be one of the most important games I've ever played. The genre permeates my gaming memories. I have vivid recollections of being a kid playing Donkey Kong 64, Banjo-Kazooie, or my high school years playing Super Mario Sunshine, Jak and Daxter, Sly Cooper, etc.
Ratchet
and Clank, that's etc. Now, I've observed over the last several years that very few quality platformers have been released. Sure, series like Uncharted or Assassin's Creed have platforming elements, but I've not had the joy of playing a game like Super Mario 64 for almost a decade now, with the exception of Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. So, my question to the panel is this. Why has this once incredible and hugely influential genre been largely forgotten? The closest thing to a platformer I've played in a long time was ReCore. And well, frankly, that game sucked. Will this largely dormant franchise ever return to the spotlight where it belongs? Love and respect, Revelo.
Have you played Tropical Freeze?
The joy of jumping is there in Tropical
But I
Freeze.
If you haven't,
The joy
at
of
least got
jumping.
one.
I
Yep.
think what he's talking about is very different though.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Because 2D platformers, they're around. There's been a resurgence. They're in different forms. A lot of them are done by indie companies, of course. But like 2D platforming is represented. 3D platforming is almost non-existent.
Yeah,
You just started Banjo-Kazooie.
and I love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like I did not intend to watch that stream. I watched it the whole thing. I was there the whole night. Such a great fun game and
Yeah.
so good to look at. And actually related to that, I just this past weekend I think played the Ukulele Toy Box.
Ooh. Yeah.
And so it's funny because right now, like one of the things that like attracts you to Banjo-Kazooie is like just how cool the worlds look and like how much detail they put into the textures. Ukulele right now is a bunch of boxes.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of boxes with grids on them. And I went through that whole thing, which was only like an hour or two, and made sure that like I got every stupid little
An hour or two is
collectible.
more than I thought it would be. Is the joy of jumping alive in Ukulele.
Yeah, I think it
Cool.
is. And you know, it's just, and I think that's the thing. Like when you're talking about like what's a good collectible, what's a bad collectible, and I think one of those things, and like Mario Galaxy 2 is a perfect example. How hard is it to get? Like how much of a secret does it feel like to get to those?
They
You know?
themselves are fun to obtain because it's a challenge to get them. Not, I just got to go drive over there to pick it up.
Yeah.
I got to a tower. The tower told me where to drive.
Yeah, now I'm going to drive back down, pick it up, instead of like, no, I'm going to platform up into that hole, time this right, boom, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like there's this one mechanic where like basically I don't know, I don't really know which is which, but the chameleon like rolls up into a ball to
Let's call him Yuka.
Yeah. But it's sort of like the it's like kind of like the long legs with Kazooie.
Yeah.
So you can go up steep inclines.
Yeah, yeah.
And so like you're going up, basically spiraling up this tower, and you've got to learn like how to hit the jumps and then stop and then keep going without like flying off the tower. You know, and so once you get up to the tower, it feels really good, and then you get to look down at the rest of the box world. You know, and it's like there's no assets here.
Yeah.
But I'm having fun with this, and
Right.
it feels like it's, you know, actually a true successor to Banjo-Kazooie. The one thing they need to get, well, I don't know if they get rid of it or if they just need to vary it more, is they still have the little squeaky voices.
Yeah.
And so
Is
like,
that old? That's a Ribbon Inc. Save system. That's something that's got to go.
Yeah, or like I said, maybe it's just a matter of like they just have to vary it more in the final game. Because it's, like I started listening to that, and it was like it was this sort of. It reminded me of the beginning of Okami. If you played that game, like when it first released on PS2, and like that opening, you just kept hearing this repetitive squeak, 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 squeak.
Because the cricket, right?
Yeah. It just went on forever. And it's like I don't know if I would have made it through that if people hadn't told me this was a really good game.
There's one for Olayer. That's got to go. We're cool with the losing
I do
that
think
one.
platformers will come back. I think it's all just shifting and, you know, weaving.
Sick.
Like right now we're getting an open world resurgence, ton of those. I think,
I don't think it will. Here's
I
the
do.
thing. They're hard to design. They're
are-
super hard to design. They're
Yeah.
expensive to design.
dude, the one that comes to my mind immediately recently is Sunset Overdrive.
Sure.
Oh my god.
And Sunset Overdrive won't get a sequel.
Yeah.
That's how sad that is.
I didn't go into it expecting some awesome platformer, and when you start like getting better at moving in that game, it is just a thrill. Like the jumping on things and hooking and grinding, like when you get and running on walls, like when you like it takes a while to master, but like all good platformers, you know, when you finally feel comfortable and good doing it.
I think of SSX as a platforming game more than a like a racing game, like actual sports racing game. I would not classify it in that genre, but I just think that because I'm thinking of, you're saying like we're never gonna get the games like this.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think of like games we've gotten because we had this amazing resurgence in the late 90s, you know, or not resurgence, but like we had the genre can hit its peak, you know. It's like Mario 64 is like still one of the best games ever. I think a game you wouldn't necessarily consider a platforming game, but still has some of my might be my favorite jumping in any game ever is Shadow of the Colossus. Like just that feeling. I remember, I think it was like one of the last ones you have to do where it's just like this hallway and it just walks back and forth and you can climb up this wall on the side of it. And I remember like looking at it being like, how do I get on that thing? And I'm like, oh, do I just jump? Like, do I just like run to the edge? And like, like just the way, I mean, it's basically Uncharted now. Just the actual feeling of weight and seeing the limbs like move. You know, it's not just like, oh, I'm going to hold this little Spider-Man pose while I'm in midair. But like, no, my body has weight to it. And I have to grab onto this thing when I like just that, you know, vibe when I jump off of something like...
Yeah, I mean,
and so I'm just saying, like, maybe Last Guardian's like there's a little of that there,
Get a
you know,
little
like
bit of that.
actually looking down or up in the environments you're in and searching for
Verticality.
those little secret nooks.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like, for a great platformer to be great, like, just that's it. Those simple things have to feel good. You know, like when you first boot up Mario 64 and you start running and you do a triple jump, you know, and you gain that momentum, like that feels fun every time. And then once you start to like get tested and you like have to do that to do something and then you nail it, like that's where it all comes together. Whereas now so many games that have some form of platforming, you know, like they make it so that when you jump, you're just going to make it across no matter, you know, even if it doesn't look like it, you know, it's like the jump kind of stretches to be however long it needs to be.
Yeah, I really stand by this. Go back and do it. A long jump in Mario 64, you can do it in Galaxy.
Yeah.
Doing
my
that
God.
feels better than most anything in any video game. Just feels good.
It's like comparing it to the Beatles, though. I mean, it's Super Mario.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But even, you know, like Mario still continues to do it, you know, like Mario Galaxy, like when you get a long jump and then you like get it between the planetoids and you kind of do this thing where you like get to the edge of the gravity and you like rubber band back.
That feeling. Oh, that feels so good.
But I'm getting the impression that our panel is optimistic about 3D platformers going forward, whereas I was pessimistic. Is that the case?
NX, baby.
I mean, I don't know that we'll see like I don't see a momentum for it, but I mean,
Sure.
at least Ukulele is coming.
Yeah.
We know Nintendo will probably continue to do 3D Mario platformers in some form.
They didn't for the entirety of the Wii U.
Well, they did 3D Land. It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't the same thing.
We're talking about this legacy of 3D platformers right now. I don't want to get in this argument, but this is not carrying that torch.
I think, does the panel think it's safe to say
3D
we will
World.
get a Mario NX, a Donkey Kong NX? Zelda will have some sort of platforming,
Let's
like
not
climbing.
Come on. Oh,
You
Hubert.
know, now that the climbing that mountain.
I don't think the Zelda I would put into the.
Yeah.
I get
I mean,
too emotionally invested in this conversation.
I know.
You don't
Mario
know.
NX, Donkey Kong NX, they're coming, Kyle.
You don't know what that would do to me, Hubert.
They're coming.
My eyes are watering. You just don't bring them up. Jones, are you optimistic about 3D platformers moving forward?
Yes. I think there's still I think there's still places to go in that genre. I think there's still sizes of worlds that can be bigger than anything that we've created before. But yeah, not the most popular. It just happens. Just fighting games went away for a while and then boom, they came back. You know?
Just
So,
takes
like,
a good game.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. I hear that.
Super Mario, you know? Like, if 3D platformers died, wouldn't that mean there'd be no more Mario, kind of?
Not necessarily.
There is no
I mean,
more Mario.
You're saying as long as Mario is alive,
As long as
3D platformers are alive.
Yes.
Okay.
Keep Mario alive.
There's some good stuff this week. We got to move on. That has to be the end of our podcast. But before then, let's talk about bets. It's time for bets. Let's do next week's bet. Skylanders Imaginators. Of all the games that are coming out, I picked this one to make our bet about. This is the new Skylanders game. This is the one in which you can make your own Skylanders hero.
some platforming.
There's some platforming, and yeah, you can jump now these days.
I thought
in
about that
Skylanders
actually,
game.
and it's mostly action. Not a lot of.
There's jumping now.
There
They-
is.
They added jumping,
Yes.
but it's not the joy of jumping with 2 capital J's.
Not known
No.
for its jumping now.
Even though this year, Crash Bandicoot will be introduced as a Skylander, which draws us to our question. I'm going to look at the top 10 most recent reviews on OpenCritic at this point next week for Skylanders Imaginators. How many times will I see the word Bandicoot? Brandon Jones.
I say 9.
Okay.
I think one each, and
I think that's
one,
my
one,
vote-
and
that's
one
my
person's
bet.
gonna manage not saying it.
I lost my bet.
Oh
Remember
boy.
your bet?
I
Hubert-
remember my bet.
Sure. Okay.
10 times.
Nice. Daniel Bloodworth.
I kind of played it safe in the middle 7 times.
And I made a mistake because I also bet 9.
Nice.
Let me lock those in. Oh, yeah, we have bad chances of winning this week, Jones.
Yeah.
Woof. I assume somebody's going to say Bandicoot more than once. Some people won't mention it, but that's a big draw. Crash Bandicoot. It's more of a draw than the Imaginator. Like, you could pick the face of. Here's the thing. They design them as sets. They design them as, okay, you're doing the pumpkin Imaginator, then he's got pumpkin hands, pumpkin legs. You want to mix and match them? No, I want the set. I don't want just ugly. Ugh. I get real upset about this stuff. Why? Why does he get so worked up about stuff like this? Let's talk about last week's bet. Mafia 3 and Paper Mario Color Splash are releasing on the same day. They released on Friday. We went to Amazon's best sellers list. At this point, last week, Mafia 3 was number 9. Paper Mario Color Splash was number 13. And so it was our job to bet on which game would lead this week and by how many. Here's how the betting went down. Jones, you bet that Mafia 3 would be winning by 5 spots. Ian bet that Mafia 3 would be winning by 3 spots. Ben bet that Mafia 3 would be winning by 4 spots. I bet that Mafia 3 would be winning by 8 spots. Mafia 3 right now on Amazon's bestsellers is number 51. Paper Mario Color Splash right now on Amazon's bestsellers, number 21. Paper Mario Color Splash
Paper Mario
won
wins
by 30 spots.
Yeah.
No one wins.
Paper Mario does.
Paper Mario wins.
Mario.
Maybe
Mario's
reviews
alive.
win.
Platformers.
Paper Mario, I think, right now at this point is, I mean, there's only one review, right, from IGN for Mafia 3, and no one else has beaten it yet.
Still, right now?
There were no early access copies. I don't know if there's a lot of reviews out yet.
There's maybe some random ones here and there, some leaked copies.
Sure. Crazy. Yeah, and so maybe reviews really affect things. Maybe the positive reviews Paper Mario is getting right now are helping it.
Well, there's
stay.
definitely been a lot of negativity around the launch of Mafia 3.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Bugginess.
Yeah.
The
Some
30
PC,
frames per second on
PC
PC,
controversy,
absolutely, yeah, that'll hurt your sales. But I mean, we're looking at the PS4 and Xbox One versions that are making this top 10, 100 list. Yeah, so we talked about this. We agreed that basically the bet is you have to at least get that first component right. We thought about giving it to Ian because he's technically closest, but no, he said Mafia 3 will win. Ian, you don't win. None of us win. So the score remains Green Lizards 12. Red Eagles 16. So I don't know who gets to.
Yeah, who closes this out? Either you do as moderator, or maybe roll the dice again.
Ooh, I like rolling again. So Blood, give us a gentle roll. In the meantime, Brandon and I will promote patreon.com/easyallies.
Sure.
Yeah. That is the thing. We are Easy Allies.
Uh-huh.
The 4 people you've been listening to are Easy Allies, but there are many beyond us.
Totally.
5 even.
Yes.
Snapping your fingers.
Tell me more.
We're a group of people who love video games, and we love to make videos about video games, podcasts, live streams, previews, reviews,
Retrospectives.
game sleuths. We love doing this stuff. We love video games, and we love to show that in video. And basically, how we do that is through support through Patreon. And so if you go to patreon.com/easyallies, you can see how you could support us to do more of those things. And also you can see what we're doing. You go to easyallies.com to see the stuff we're doing, to see our schedule in your local time zone. It's not your local time zone, your time zone. Lots of stuff. There's lots of stuff to see. There's our forums on the website as well. And we're on Twitter. We're all over the place. Patreon.com.
You can join for just $1.
Easy Allies.
Just $1 gets you Cup of Jones, an exclusive Patreon show.
And you get to vote.
That only patrons get to watch.
You get a lot of voting responsibilities for that $1. You get to vote on our group stream nights.
Yep.
Tonight we played a tournament of the Luigi's Mansion minigame from Nintendo Land, the launch title of the Wii U.
Like Ghost Mansion. That was tense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our patrons voted on it. I thought they were just goofing on us. Turned out to be a great competitive game.
Yeah.
Great. Oh, that's a stream worth watching. Go to youtube.com/easyalliesplays to see any of our stream archives. That's where you would find the tournament.
And catch those streams live at twitch.tv/easyallies.
Yes. I think we covered everything there.
Oh,
That was well covered.
Very covered.
Teamwork on that.
Copy paste that one.
All right, Blood. Number 2, Huber, you have won the right and responsibility to share your Twitter handle. Please give everyone the right one.
Yeah.
You can promote any Easy Allies video you'd like to promote. You may get the final word on anything you've disagreed with or simply want to reiterate. And you get to sign off with your trademark sign off. And I want to say this. If you end the show with a Prove It ticket in your hand, you owe everyone a werehog.
Oh, okay.
This ain't right. I don't like this, Jones.
So you're
I ended with it too.
You're trying to force the Prove It?
Yeah. You got the Prove It ticket. Use it.
Right.
There was even a moment where it was
wouldn't
time to
believe you.
prove it to Huber.
He could have done it on me.
He said a lot of beat 'em ups have burned me. And it's like, what are you talking about?
Like, I gonna make a list. Next time I'm on, I'll have a full
Jones,
list.
use that Prove It ticket right now.
Yeah.
Make Huber make that list. All right, then give me a
I'm
Werehog.
gonna make it anyway.
You can have all the Werewhogs you want.
Oh
Kyle.
my God, Jones, use the Prove It ticket.
I'm gonna make a list
Make a
of
list.
beat 'em ups that have burned me within the last 4 years.
4 years. That's a lot of years. I guess Scott Pilgrim was 4 years ago at this point, wasn't
Scott
it?
Pilgrim's a 10 out of 10.
I
think it's
love
older
that
than
game.
that.
That's older.
It's
than
very
that,
old.
Yeah.
And
I
it's
was
a
in
thing.
college.
I wish we
Pilgrim's
could
like
have.
one of the first like DLC games I remember.
Yeah.
Like,
Such a good DLC
That
game.
soundtrack.
It's not one of the first. It's definitely not one of the first.
no,
DLC
but I remember
games.
that. I remember just that being one of the
Yeah.
like in that trend of like it's like, oh, this game's only like $10 and
Yeah.
I can just get it right now. Sweet.
You know what? You cannot get that game right now. How crazy is that?
What?
Delisted.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Not even on
Lost
Steam or
the
something?
rights.
That stuff
Wow.
is so weird.
What
man.
if it's in my
Freaks me out.
download history?
Then that's
you,
fine.
you can re-download. You are right.
Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Go stream that then. That's some gold right there.
But let's say we're playing That's My Boy, and you want to say, hey, let's play Scott Pilgrim. I'll go
Yeah.
download it. Gone.
Yep.
Crazy.
A lot,
is
of, lot of
crazy.
stuff have been delisted off all the services, even Virtual Console.
Wow.
It ain't right.
It ain't right.
Because Virtual Console's fine. We could go to Game Dude. We could go buy that.
Well, not some like the entire. You remember, like they didn't put out really very many good ones. I don't even know if they put out any good ones, but they had. They got the Commodore 64. They got a lineup of Commodore 64 games they put on Virtual Console. Yeah.
Wow.
And all delisted, the whole thing.
Wow.
It
Those
ain't
things you can't get a Game Dude very easily.
Yeah, I can.
Maybe a couple, but
Yeah, I hear you. But Scott Pilgrim, you cannot go to Game Dude and buy. They did not print that on a disc. That's gone. Poof.
I love that someone in chat during one of our streams was listening to the official Easy Allies podcast theme, the theme of Easy Allies, and they were like, "Isn't this from Scott Pilgrim?"
yeah, I thought immediately.
oh right.
That's funny.
And Chad was like, no, they got that. The Phantom Inc. wrote it for Phantom K wrote it for the Allies.
Yeah.
And the person was like, I think it's from Scott Pilgrim. It's like, okay, you're entitled to your opinion.
That's wrong.
That
That's
was
very
our
wrong.
official response.
You got me thinking about Phantom NK's remix of not just like the Rufus remix.
Right.
I really like that a lot.
Oh, yeah.
We got a really good one
I think
from.
that was also delisted.
Yeah, it's also delisted. Indigo, a Swedish rock star, sent us a version of the
Oh,
Rufus
man.
song.
Haven't heard it.
Maybe we should put it in the end of the show or something.
Maybe we should do
Here's the thing, though.
top 10 delisted games of all time list.
Ooh, that's
This would be
controversial.
Great.
Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
PT.
Yeah.
a
Oh,
good
PT
list.
is up there.
Scott Pilgrim.
Marvel
You-
vs. Capcom 3 got delisted.
You can't
too?
buy it digitally, right? But I mean, you could go buy that as a disc.
Wow.
I want to play the end of Rufus's song.
Okay.
It's been misconstrued. And it's because we're always shouting over
Yeah.
it. So nobody talk over the end of this. Let's get a clean
It
take.
goes up high. It goes. It's like,
Yeah, yeah. Rufus does not get enough credit for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty good, Rufus.
That's opening a treasure chest right there.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to see more credit for that. Yeah. Okay, so I'm sorry, Hubert. Do you have
good.
final word on anything?
Don't give me meaningless collectibles anymore. Video games. I'm so sick and tired of it. My character in that game, whichever it may be, needs a contextual reason to be picking up these items.
So-
I don't want to Adam Jensen it, break into a random stranger's house and rummage through his cupboards. I don't want to Lincoln Clay it and crowbar my way in to a random person's house to pick up their Playboy on the kitchen counter. I need a reason.
Context. Hubert, this is the first time in the history of the Easy Eyes podcast that someone has just created a new rant in the moment of the final word. And I gotta say, I really like it. Like, hey, do you have one locked and loaded? Let's go. That's final word.
Well, that was a
building
variant
up.
of the tower conversation.
Yeah, I like that.
It's been getting me.
Yeah, I love that. Any video you want to promote?
No, but I want to promote Easy Allies on Twitch. If you listen to the podcast, or if you don't, if you just don't come to the Twitch streams, I highly encourage it. Every day, different times here and there, but every Tuesday we do the group stream at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Just a great place to hang out and check out some awesome video games. different game every time, you know?
Hangout normally bothers me, but I get it.
We're hanging out.
It's an environment. You got to see chat. I know
Yeah.
not everybody participates in chat who's watching, but chat is so funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chat is ridiculously funny in their streams for some reason.
Yeah. It's like they put us in our place.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true. Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah. That's it. Easy allies.
Your trademark sign off.
Stay hyped.